Decision-making in the face of uncertainty can be difficult. As director of Palazzo Strozzi, what actions did you take?
Our first response has been to create a new project, an integrated platform with our blog and social media called In Contatto, In Touch, where different authors are helping us to reflect on this new present, creating a new form of interaction with our audience and a new debate through the language of art. In Touch is having a very good response, and it has been acclaimed as one of the best online new strategies in this time of crisis. Furthermore, we recently published some video messages of reflection and encouragement sent to us by Ai Weiwei, by Thomas Saraceno, Marina Abramovic and Jeff Koons. So it's great to see how these top international artists are willing to support us. As the director of a cultural institution, I'm trying every day to understand what's happening and to be ready to react strategically. We need to move ahead day by day. So at the moment we hope to reopen our exhibition, Thomas Saraceno area, as soon as it's safe. Meanwhile, even though the museum is closed, the courtyard in the heart of Florence is symbolically still open, with Saraceno's major site-specific installation, thermodynamic constellation, is still there. And of course there are no people around, but still from a distance, this installation can offer a space for conceptual collective participation. This installation is a manifesto of hope for a better future, and now more than ever we need hope.
How would you describe the experience of running a museum exclusively online?
We are surely learning something useful to our work from this experience, but I still find it extremely frustrating and deeply unnatural. At the same time, I appreciate all the efforts that the art world is doing to cope with this crisis and reach their public differently. But I strongly believe in the direct contact between art and people. Our job is to create this connection. Internet, virtual reality, websites, social media, blogs are surely helpful to enhance our messages, but they are complementary to our work. They cannot be the final product of our activity. They have become more and more necessary in the last 2 decades, but the real magic happens elsewhere. It happens only in the museum.
What do you think the contemporary art market will look like after the COVID-19 crisis? And do you think the same top names will continue to be relevant once this is all over, hopefully?
I think good artists will still be good after the crisis. I'm not a market expert, but I cannot predict any market turmoil. I can only say that market values, cultural habits, social attitudes and artistic tastes changed many times in art history. This pandemic crisis looks like an historical turning point, and the art world is just a small detail of a bigger picture. But the question is still relevant, and yes, we are talking about it with colleagues since the beginning of the pandemic crisis, and I think everybody in our field is worried about the future. It's still too early of having a clear understanding of the next future, but we have to be prepared for some changes because we all already know that the international art scene will not look the same after this storm. So far, we can see that the worldwide art calendar is already changed. Many events are postponed, many cancelled, many happen only online. And we surely learned that a certain lifestyle, kind of art globetrotter lifestyle, is not sustainable anymore, and this is probably for the best. Furthermore, I think that when at the end of this crisis people will physically go back to museums and art spaces, they may be still looking for more sustainable practices and for a deepest and a more responsible message from the art institutions.
How do times like these affect the creative impact of artists?
Artists are always in contact with their time, and this crisis will surely have an impact somehow on their creativity. Today, for instance, an artist like Thomas Saraceno looks almost prophetic with his research and practices. Our show at Palazzo Strozzi is the perfect exhibition for this moment because Thomas' output is all about our connection with a bigger universe and ecosystem towards a more sustainable future and a more responsible way of living. I'm sure in our next future we will have a lot to learn from the artist.